Ravens have allowed only 2 100-yard rushers in 30 games. So it's not just Tomlinson that it's having trouble running against this defense. The entire league has their difficulties. Travis Henry for Tennessee ran for 100. And trying to think of the other. There's Rex Ryan.
You know, they've had Trevor Price in here this year at times, and he's made a difference. But Rex Ryan's enjoyed Kelly Gregg. He's enjoyed Ray Lewis. He's had Haloti Ngata. You get Gregg and Ngata in there, that means everything spills to the ends. Everything spills to the linebackers. So it's a pretty popular formula, and they do it as well as anybody else.
It was Larry Johnson was the other. Travis Henry and Larry Johnson, the only two to rush for 100 against Baltimore's defense in 30 games. On third down, the quick throw and a tough catch by Chris Chambers down around his shoe tops. But again, it'll be short of a first down. Samari Rolle, the tackle, and Rolle, who has had his problems with his illness, and he does appear a bit rusty today, and they've been working on him throughout the game.
Well, it puts Nick Kading well within his go zone, right about that same range he was at last time, 40-41 yards.
And would give the Chargers better than a 2-touchdown advantage. They're now 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion in the lead. 41 yards. And this one is curling in. So Kading has been perfect, and the Chargers build their lead to 32-14.
XGames.com is the year-round online destination for action sports from around the world. We've got the latest vids, bios, photo galleries, and news 24/7, 365. Moto, BMX, skate, rally, surf, and the exclusive home of the X Games. If it happened in the world of action sports, it'll be on XGames.com. Bookmark it and log on early and often. Anytime, any place. XGames.com.
Hockey Fights Cancer has raised more than $9 million for cancer care, research, and awareness. Don't give up. Join our hockey family in the fight against cancer. Log on to NHL.com and join the fight. Don't give up.
Since 1989, Coca-Cola has provided more than $35 million in college scholarships. And as the NCAA's first corporate champion, Coca-Cola proudly supports 88 NCAA championships in 23 sports for 360,000 student athletes every year. Satisfying a thirst for learning, both in the classroom and on the field. The Coca-Cola Company and the NCAA.
In Baltimore, and Pelicans here at the La Jolla Cove. They have a great view of the famed La Jolla Beach and Tennis Club. The Ravens, for 2 straight games, have given up 30 points. That doesn't happen very often, not since '99. And the long kick by Kading forces Figures to the goal line. Tries the left side this time and slips down at the 15-yard line. 8:36 remaining in the fourth. San Diego in front, 32-14.
The Detroit Lions and rookie Calvin Johnson will look to help the Lions post their first winning season since 2000. Standing 6'5", 235 pounds, Johnson possesses a rare combination of size, speed, and strength. His great hands, body control, and tremendous leaping ability will pose problems for opposing defenders. In his college career, Johnson was responsible for 42% of Georgia Tech's passing yards, so look for Johnson to be heavily utilized in 2007.
XGames.com is the year-round online destination for action sports from around the world. We've got the latest vids, bios, photo galleries, and news 24/7, 365. moto, BMX, skate, rally, surf, and the exclusive home of the X Games. If it happened in the world of action sports, it'll be on xgames.com. Bookmark it and log on early and often. Anytime, any place. xgames.com.
Since 1989, Coca-Cola has provided more than $35 million in college scholarships. And as the NCAA's first corporate champion, Coca-Cola proudly supports 88 NCAA championships in 23 sports for 360,000 student athletes every year. Satisfying a thirst for learning, both in the classroom and on the field. The Coca-Cola Company and the NCAA.
Steve McNair pacing the sidelines, not in uniform today. That bad shoulder keeping him out of action. Should Brian Billick need to make a change at quarterback, it would be the Heisman winner of a year ago, Troy Smith. 5th-round pick. There he is, number 10 out of Ohio State. Bowler crushed at the 5-yard line. That was a jailbreak. Led by Ryan Bingham, number 97, the 4th sack by the Chargers today.
Well, Bingham came from the inside, but watch the pinchers coming from the outside with Merriman and Phillips. There's Phillips. There's Sean Merriman. And Bingham in the middle coming up late.
They're going to have to share this sack.
2nd and 20 from the 5.
Very close to getting up into the helmet of Bowler on the tackle, and he reaches for his right eye. 2nd and 20 from the 5, and Bowler from his own end zone screens it. And a good tackle from behind to drop Willis McGahee. Sean Merriman showing how quick he can be, because McGahee was picking up speed in the possible good game.
Well, remember, Dick, we mentioned it earlier. Sean Merriman was embarrassed last week by Maurice Jones-Drew with that hit that just put him on his backside. Last year against Baltimore, he did nothing against Jonathan Ogden, and he has been a force today. He came into this game with an agenda and some priorities, and he's filled all the above.
3rd and 19, a tough spot for Bowler and the Ravens. Rolling into his own end zone and throwing as he's hit, and that ball well out of bounds, incomplete, and Bowler took quite a smack from Sean Phillips and Sean Merriman. The two Seans on the outside of the San Diego defense can rush the passer. There's 95 Phillips.
Phillips didn't have long to go, and he's getting basically undressed by Sipnewski at tight end, who's trying to prevent him from even touching his quarterback, and failed at that one.
Sam Cook in a tough spot. Heels almost on the end line. Sproles eases up to midfield. This ball is short. Sproles takes it at the 42 and will have to eat it right there at the 39-yard line as Derek Martin downfield to make the tackle. Great field position for Rivers coming up.
The Detroit Lions and rookie Calvin Johnson will look to help the Lions post their first winning season since 2000. Standing 6'5", 235 pounds, Johnson possesses a rare combination of size, speed, and strength. His great hands, body control, and tremendous leaping ability will pose problems for opposing defenders. In his college career, Johnson was responsible for 42% of Georgia Tech's passing yards, so look for Johnson to be heavily utilized in 2007.
Hockey Fights Cancer has raised more than $9 million for cancer care, research, and awareness. Don't give up. Join our hockey family in the fight against cancer. Log on to NHL.com and join the fight. Don't give up.
Since 1989, Coca-Cola has provided more than $35 million in college scholarships. And as the NCAA's first corporate champion, Coca-Cola proudly supports 88 NCAA championships in 23 sports for 360,000 student athletes every year. Satisfying a thirst for learning, both in the classroom and on the field. The Coca-Cola Company and the NCAA.
Well, at the start of the game, Randy with his crosstalk, how did it all develop?
Take a look at the bottom. Look what San Diego did. No turnovers, 147 yards they've allowed the Baltimore offense. And I tell you, they've also had Phillip Rivers play the game of his years so far in 2007, and he's able to hit 3 wide open receivers for touchdowns.
And Bowler there on the sidelines has been pressured throughout the day. Here's Tomlinson again with a push of that right side of the line, but only a couple yards for LT. If you're just joining us, it did cross the 10,000-yard rushing barrier earlier in this game against the Ravens. The key being a 36-yard run, the only long rush that he's enjoyed today.
Second and 8.
Currently 73 yards total as he's reached the 10,044-yard mark in just his 7th season.
He's touched the ball 27 times, 21 carries, 6 receptions.
His quarterback, Phillip Rivers, matching his career high of 3 touchdown passes. LT staggering as he took the handoff off balance, and Dwan Landry and Bart Scott made sure he didn't head upfield.
Well, this Baltimore Ravens defense has given Phillip Rivers and Antonio Gates something to sing about, but they've given LaDainian Tomlinson some time to sit in an ice bath about. They've put some lumps on his body.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. You know, he's a big fan of Emmitt Smith. Went to Emmitt Smith's camp as a young kid, and Emmitt, since he's become a professional, has advised him, hey, get that ice bath and don't forget the massages. And that one's going to feel pretty good tomorrow for LT. He's taking a lot of hitting. 3rd down and 8. Tomlinson, and again, even where the Ravens might have been looking past, can't pick up much yardage at all. For those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS and the game between the Ravens and Chargers in San Diego. Dick Enberg, Randy Cross, and our score, the Chargers 32, the Ravens 14. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately after the game, except on the West Coast, where it will be seen at its regularly scheduled time. And we will add to that with the Denver-Chicago game behind this one. If there's still time remaining in Chicago, we'll switch from San Diego to Soldier Field for the final minutes of the Bears and Broncos.
What a great race this AFC West is going to be down to the wire. If the Chargers can run an offense like this, and and Denver's offense decides to wake up the way it is again today in Chicago, this will go right down to week 17.
And Oakland and Kansas City will have something to say about it as well. They're tough opponents, and the Chargers will be in Kansas City next Sunday. The Chiefs won here earlier in the season. There's how it stands now, with San Diego one of the biggest wins at Denver when they handed the Broncos uncharacteristic thrashing 41-3. Baltimore, meanwhile, for Brian Billick, the Ravens have never lost 5 in a row. They're on the cusp of just that, should they lose today. And then no relief in sight. They've got Indianapolis and New England, their next 2 home games. So 4th down and 3. And Norv Turner is elected not to try a field goal here, because you miss it and you give field position. Darren Sproles is in the game. 4th and 3 for Rivers. Throws. Is it a catch? It's right at the sticks, and they rule it a catch to Buster Davis. Corey Ivy covering. That was an incredibly tough catch for the rookie from LSU. The ball very low, and he had to scrape it off the turf, and they've ruled it a catch and a 1st down.
He caught it the first time, and it looks like he maintained that left arm wrapped around the ball all the way through it. It's a very accurate throw, low and away. Buster Davis, the only one with a legitimate shot at catching that, and that was a catch.
And a first down on Davis's first catch of the game, and there's the red flag toss by Billick.
Well, you can't take him with you. You might as well challenge it.
You know, at this stage of the season, and it was so interesting talking to the two coaches.
Baltimore is challenging the ruling on the field of progress as related to a first down.
As you watch Billick and Turner, it's been a very difficult year for both these coaches. They've been extraordinarily talented. Their teams have not played well. There have been injuries. There have been disappointments, and coaches ultimately are going to take the blunt.
Now the point was made that it was basically, the point was made by Correnti that it was where the ball was down, where the player was down as it relates to a first down.
Not on whether it was a catch or not?
It didn't sound like it was a challenge as it relates to the catch. It was more as it relates to the spot. You see right there, the 29-yard line is where they needed to get for the first down, and that's clearly inside that 29, because as soon as Ivy contacts him, he's down.
And that's exactly what the challenge has dictated, to review whether or not Davis made the first down. Remember, against Indianapolis here a couple of weeks ago, it was on a challenge of a spot that the Colts had a 1st and goal and moved it back to 4th and 1 and had to go for the short field goal that was missed by Vinatieri.
Remember now, Dick, he's getting the ball. His left arm is under the ball. It is a catch. Now, where is he contacted by Corey Ivy? They're not challenging the catch. They're challenging the spot of the ball.
Looks like he's contacted him right there.
Yeah, so I mean, it's about the 28.5-yard line.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field will stand. It is a completed pass with the receiver down by contact at the 28.5-yard line. Baltimore will be charged with their second timeout.
Well, like I said, you can't take them with you. So you might as well challenge it and see if you get a little something in there. Here's the matchup, top of your screen right here. Here comes the catch. You know, the goal to gain was right at the 29. See, the ball easily is right there at about the 28.5-yard line. That was a very nice spot and a nice catch.
And it's flagged down as Tomlinson runs right into heavy traffic once again. The yardage is made through the passing game by San Diego, 25 for 35 for Rivers, 249 yards and 3 touchdowns. Holding is the call indicated by Correnti.
Holding, offense number 61, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Center Nick Hardwick returning to action. He's missed in essence 5 complete games since a foot injury against the Raiders last month. A reminder, 60 Minutes seen in its entirety right after the game, except on the West Coast where it'll be seen at its regularly scheduled time. Another great lineup on 60 Minutes. So stay with us here on CBS. .406 left here in the 4th quarter. San Diego enjoying a comfortable lead. Tomlinson gets outside and able to bull his way to the 33-yard line. Another flag is down. Thrown by Correnti himself.
Holding, offense number 66, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Back-to-back holding calls. This one against Clary. What's happening? San Francisco, Arizona, JB.
Hey, Dick and Randy trailing 28-24. San Francisco goes ahead on this hard run by Frank Gore, 35 yards to pay dirt. San Francisco have been averaging 11 points per game. They've got 31, their highest scoring effort this season, nursing that late in the 4th. Dick Enberg, Randy Cross.
And there's the action in the NFC West, JB. Seattle with the lead. Arizona at 5-5. San Francisco trying to win its 3rd of the year. Trying to make it a bay sweep. The 49ers and Raiders both winning. That hadn't happened all year. Tomlinson caught in the backfield on first down and a long yardage. Terrell Suggs made the tackle.
And if the Niners hold on and win that, it creates a little room for Mike Holmgren and the Seattle Seahawks in the NFC West, unlike what we have here in the AFC West, which is pretty much all hands on deck. If you're in the division, you got a shot.
That is the last timeout for Baltimore. Clock stopped at 3:54. Well, next Sunday, the NFL on CBS, AFC South Showdown. It'll be the Jaguars. They won again today against Peyton Manning and the Colts, and they're only a game behind Indianapolis. Also, we'll see the Chargers. Randy and I will be in Kansas City against the Chiefs, and the surprising Cleveland Browns tangle with the Cardinals. Check your local listings. It all begins at noon Eastern with JB and Company on the NFL Today, and we understand Shannon Sharp will return to the fold. More people watch NFL games on CBS than any other network, and we're pleased that you've joined us today.
Back up to full speed to deal with JB and the boys next Sunday.
2nd and 31 after back-to-back holding calls. And it's Sproles now the running back, and the little guy gets the same treatment that Tomlinson has received throughout this game, as Haloti Ngata at 340 matches his size against the 181-pound Sproles.
There's a lot of stars in this game for the San Diego Chargers. We've talked about Rivers, we've talked about LaDainian, we've talked about a lot of other people. I think Phillip Rivers deserves as much credit as anybody, as does Antonio Gates, but I really like the job the defense for San Diego did. I know the offense kind of showed up in a new way today, but man, that defense just was stifled.
3rd down, Chargers chewing up the clock, and it's necktie tackle. Kelly Gregg brings down Sproles after a yard, and the punting team will come out, but they'll use as much as that play clock as they can before they punt it away.
You know, Dick, we've been looking at these divisions all day long. Can you believe the East, though? 11 games into the season, the New England Patriots,
they've already clinched
the
title.
Clinched. And they clinched without winning a game tonight. They're playing Philadelphia tonight, and Buffalo loses in Jacksonville. It gives them the AFC East.
Anyone going to beat them?
Hey, it's kind of hard to say who. I think the team most likely to beat New England is New England. One of these games, they're not going to be razor sharp, and when that happens, I think they lose.
Time called by San Diego. They used all of that play clock. Ed Reed, by the way, is back to return the punt. San Diego, 5 games to go. They'll be at least tied for first with a win here today. They go to Kansas City, a team that has already beaten San Diego here, at Tennessee. Tennessee tough at home. Detroit here, Denver here, and that game with Denver could well decide the AFC West champion.
Those 3 divisional games. That's what the wonderful thing is about NFL scheduling, is they always seem to do this right at the end of the season, the last month and a half. It's go ahead and fight it out and settle it among yourselves, and that's what will happen. One team comes out of this division when it comes to the playoffs.
No, it doesn't appear any wild card will make it the way they've been beaten up on each other. Cyphers to punt it to Ed Reed. Reed, who has a punt return touchdown, but won't get a chance here. Cyphers aims it out of bounds. And they'll line it up and mark it out around the 16-yard line. And tonight on CBS, you worried about credit card theft this holiday season? I think all of us better. You can't afford to miss 60 Minutes, plus the Eagles in a rare interview. And that all will be followed by new episodes of The Amazing Race, Cold Case, and Sharp. Tonight, CBS, America's most watched network.
So we're not talking about Andy Reid and those guys. We're talking Glenn Fry and
you got it.
Henley and Joe Walsh.
You'll be watching. That's the offensive line. The throw into the flat is complete, and it's DeVard Darling, and that'll probably take us to the 2-minute warning as the Ravens hurry to huddle up. And indeed won't have a chance to snap the ball before the 2-minute timeout. With the score here in San Diego, Chargers 32, Ravens 14.
The The Detroit Lions and rookie Calvin Johnson will look to help the Lions post their first winning season since 2000. Standing 6'5", 235 pounds, Johnson possesses a rare combination of size, speed, and strength. His great hands, body control, and tremendous leaping ability will pose problems for opposing defenders. In his college career, Johnson was responsible for 42% of Georgia Tech's passing yards, so look for Johnson to be heavily utilized in 2007.
Hockey Fights Cancer has raised more than $9 million for cancer care, research, and awareness. Don't give up. Join our hockey family in the fight against cancer. Log on to NHL.com and join the fight. Don't give up.
Since 1989, Coca-Cola has provided more than $35 million in college scholarships. And as the NCAA's first corporate champion, Coca-Cola proudly supports 88 NCAA championships in 23 sports for 360,000 student athletes every year. Satisfying a thirst for learning, both in the classroom and on the field. The Coca-Cola Company and the NCAA.
Scott trying to assimilate what's happened here, and you see the score. The Bears have just scored to cut Denver's lead to 7 with 5 minutes plus remaining. Bowler over the middle and has the open man, DeVard Darling, at the 40 for a first down. 60 minutes to follow. Stay with us here at the conclusion of our NFL coverage, our doubleheader today. No way to stop the clock with a timeout. Baltimore, their 3 have been spent. Bowler over the middle and complete to Derek Mason. Mason gets up and was not ruled down, apparently. Wasn't touched down by the Chargers, so gets a few extra yards. Stephen Cooper finally with the stop. 7 catches, 99 yards for Mason. He's like that Energizer Rabbit. Usa Smith with a little dump off pass, tackled at the 37 by Quentin Jammer. Clock runs to 1:02, 1:01, 1 minute to go.
Just short, and San Diego is more than happy to let them keep dumping this underneath, and this is going to give Baltimore and Brian Billick that 5th straight loss.
Has not happened in Ravens history. Bowler has to dump it off to Smith again, wrapped up at the 30-yard line. That's enough for the first down, but clock continues to chew away in the final seconds. Bowler batted down at the line of scrimmage by big Brandon McKinney. And we have another update. Let's go to JB in New York.
Hey, Dick, here's how Chicago scored after the Bears blocked a Denver punt. Chicago recovered, then Adrian Peterson. Boy, look at him moving a pile with a little help from his friends. 4 yards to pay dirt. They close the gap to 7. We'll take you there for that contest. 5:13 remaining. That in a bit. Back to Dick and Randy.
Looks like Harvard versus Yale in rugby.
7-point game with 5 minutes to go. Here, final seconds, 19. Bowler again underneath, complete. And the tackle made of Mike Anderson. Well, for San Diego, 3 touchdown passes by the beleaguered young Phillip Rivers, the key to their victory. And LT goes over 10,000 yards, although he is well stuffed by a tough run defense. And the defense of the San Diego Chargers playing outstanding football, led by Sean Merriman. 1 second left as Bowler downs the football. And so with the ball at the 21-yard line, one last play for Brian Billick.
Just an opportunity to throw this ball up into the end zone and see if you can get some points.
Fans reacting to a security guard tackling a fan that had intruded. And we obviously do not show those crazy enough to try to publicly make a fool of themselves. So we'll wait for them to put the cuffs on this gentleman and guide him to the local hoosgow. There have been some incidents through the years where a player annoyed, especially in defeat, when someone runs out in the field like that. I think
the famous one was Mike Curtis.
Mike Curtis of the Baltimore Colts.
Baltimore Colts back then with the clothesline of the.
They kind of put a stop to those kinds of shenanigans for a while.
At least at Mike Curtis games it did.
So final play here in San Diego as the Chargers will move to 6-5 and Ravens will lick the wounds of a 5-game losing streak. Bowler into the end zone and it's knocked away incomplete, and that'll do it. 32-14, San Diego the winner as we go to New York and James Brown.
All right, Dick, so the
xgames.com is
Halftime Report. Sprint, proud sponsor and avid fans of the NFL.
Oh, it's so nice to have guys in the holiday spirit as we welcome you to the Sprint Halftime Report here in New York. I'm James Brown along with Dan. Coach Cowher and Boomer Esiason, the score at half. San Diego up by 15 over Baltimore. Dan.
And Phillip Rivers drops back here. He already has one touchdown pass, and he looks for Chris Chambers wide open in the back of the end zone.
Chicago's got 2 turnovers, and the only touchdown in the first half comes on this pitch from Jay Cutler to Andre Hall. He goes in. Denver leads 13-6.
Boom.
How about 3 Arizona turnovers, 14 points on those turnovers from San Francisco. They're in control of the game, 17-14. And then all of a sudden this happens. No time on the clock. Kurt Warner heaves it. 48-yard touchdown pass, and look who comes down with it. Fitzgerald. He not only catches it, he goes right straight into the locker room, puts the ball in his locker. They're feeling pretty good. 21-17 at halftime.
And Jacksonville, Maurice Jones-Drew goes 17 yards for a touchdown. Fred Taylor also had 104 yards rushing for Jacksonville.
Carson Palmer, 3 touchdown passes on today. All 3 touchdown passes went to Chad Johnson. Now, this is his first touchdown reception since the second week of the season. So let's go get behind a TV camera, make an idiot out of ourselves, and cost our team a 15-yard penalty. But you know what? If you're going to do that, you better come back and make plays like this, and that's exactly what he did. 35-6, Tennessee falls a game back in the wild card race.
And the Cleveland Browns are one of the hottest teams in football. Derek Anderson, 253 yards. Karen Winslow, 10 receptions. Jamal Lewis, 134 yards. Cleveland rolls 27-10.
And Colby Smith, the rookie, his first start, 31 attempts, 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, but it wasn't enough. Justin Vargas, he ran 22 times for 139 yards as Oakland wins by 3.
A horrendous day for Eli Manning. 4 interceptions, 3 of which were returned for touchdowns, including this one by Chad Greenway. Eli Manning didn't have much to say after the game.
Anything you do, you have bad days, and you know, when it's going bad, it can add on. You get behind, you try to enforce things, and you know, they just got us out of our element.
And I'll tell you, Tampa Bay, Ernest Graham goes over from 1 yard out. They had 4 Matt Bryant field goals. But the story of the day are 6 Washington turnovers. Jason Campbell was picked off by Brian Kelly to seal the victory. Tampa Bay 19-13 win.
It was Drew Brees' day in Carolina. He had 3 touchdown passes. He also ran for 1 and 260 yards passing.
17 unanswered points scored by Seattle in the second half. Leonard Weaver had 1 carry. There it is, 5 yards for a touchdown. St. Louis on the goal line at the end of the game. Gus Frerotte fumbles the football.
Oh, no.
Seattle goes home 24-19. Lucky to squeak by with a victory.
Do you know who submits Chad Johnson's celebration suggestions each and every week so he can rip them?
The fans. No,
Boomer.
not me.
Boomer.
Not me.
No,
Absolutely not me.
All right,
Good
folks.
for TV, Chad.
No.
All right,
it's
Dan Marino. Second half of the Ravens and Chargers coming your way right after this.
Just joking.
CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Sprint, proud sponsor and avid fans of the NFL.